Put your motherfucking hands on me, you dead! Dead! You fake ass gangsters! I'm blowing this up! You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. He assaulted me. Yup, and they put me in a hospital on an APAP. When I was assaulted at that barbershop over there they call Legends, over at Allure, he threatened to kill me, so I need to file a police report.
That Courtney Burgess was planted with this information on purpose to basically get the feds to turn their eye off of other people that are allegedly going to go down with Diddy. And the person that she called out was Jay-Z and the Carters. And then Courtney Burgess started acting really strange and multiple different times threw up these triangles while she was saying stuff like this.
You're all my witnesses. I'm lucid. I'm sane.
You guys just escaped a serious assassination attempt. Jaguar Wright. It was not just harassment or intimidation. It was a coordinated operation, and the timing couldn't be more dubious. Only a few days before this incident, Jaguar was naming Jay-Z Davis, Desiree Perez, Clive Burgess, Courtney, Alex Spiro, and other specific people are among Diddy's achievements in his RICO empire. Jag says he helped hide serious crimes for years.
I sent you a very real message, man. I said they're trying to unalive me again. Can you help? You never responded. You went just as ghost as Jussie Smollett did a week ago. But I'm starting to research you, Miss Kid. And so help me God, if I find you've had any legal dealings with Alex Spiro, you and I are going to help.
As you are all well aware, Jaguar has been exposing industry corruption for some time. But this is different now that she's started connecting Diddy's case to her hotel was broken into, her car was tampered with, and even her husband was bought off to help her. Where they weren't supposed to, actual networks of enablers started to emerge.
Okay. Hold on.
But according to Jaguar, this isn't really about Diddy anymore. Rather, she's naming powerful people and larger fish who are closely associated with more than Diddy, which complicates everything. Prior to us, you need to know something. So talk about who those names are. Jaguar continued to make these claims. You know who did it if anything happens to me? She said as she went live in silence and stared straight into the camera. The question is, was this just a scare tactic? Or did Jaguar interfere with something darker? Or did someone really want to make it happen? What's more, who are these people still filling in for Diddy today?
So I can have my lawyer serve the paperwork for my. Why am I waiting? I was in the hospital for 9 days. They put me in on an APAL. I have bruises. My thumb and my pinky was done from where they stood on my back with the handcuff.
Let's discuss the actual events. Jaguar Wright says that the people who have long protected Diddy's criminal business are responsible for her recent escape from a planned assassination attempt.
Oh, my dead son. Oh, my dead son. Oh, my son. Oh, my son. They're all dead.
No,
they're all dead.
Jaguar claims that she observed a black SUV go by her Dallas hotel many times over the day. She noticed someone crouching beside her car and messing with the tires. A few hours later, as she was making her way back to her hotel,
It was dark back then. I had my key out, and I had my knuckles in my back pocket, my brass knuckles. And sure enough, he came out the dark as I was about to put my key in the door and go upstairs.
according to Jaguar, this man tried to alter her vehicle to make it look like it had been in an accident, but she caught him in the process and confronted him, which resulted in a physical altercation.
You boogeyman, I ran up on that, just started punching the out of him. Whooped his, took his knife. I was like, you see this? Get him on knife. I was losing it. I was like, I swear to God, if I see you out these streets, I'm
Even though Jaguar is now able to defend herself, the event nevertheless left her shaken because she understood that they weren't just trying to scare her. They were trying to kill her.
I'm prepared for what I'm prepared for. You know what I mean? I've had everything bad that
pretty much a human being can go through.
When Jaguar went live with Tokyo Tony after this incident, she showed off a few of the guns she always carries. Indeed, it tracks, and the woman is moving as if she were in a conflict zone.
Go spend some time with my godson before they try to kill me again. Oh my God, stop saying that. Don't put that in the universe. They've been trying to kill me.
Furthermore, when Tokyo asked Jag to name the people who have been trying to kill her, Jag didn't mince words when she said that there are 2 Combs and Cartershon.
Do it in Chicago. Okay, well, who are they? You know who the I'm talking about. Oh my God, I'm talking about the Seans. I'm talking about Sean Carter. Oh my God, Sean Carter.
Jaguar even brought up Beyonce. After talking about how someone tried to blow up her car, suggesting that she was involved in the attempted assault as well.
Somebody tried to blow up my car. I hope Beyonce falls and breaks her neck.
As everyone knows, Jaguar has long been critical of Diddy and Jay-Z. Says nothing new. She has accused him of anything from stealing from artists to killing countless people.
Jacqueline Avon, Kim Porter, Albie Shore, Heavy D, Andre Harrell, Father MC Baby Mom, Big L, Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace, Pimp C, Aaliyah, sweetheart. There are so many.
As everyone is aware, when Jaguar warned about Diddy, the business quickly wrote her off as crazy.
First time you heard me say that Sean Combs was a sex trafficker, and you said I was a liar because I was jealous, because I wasn't his girlfriend, because I wasn't successful in the music industry, because I didn't have a hit record, because I didn't live in a mansion, because I didn't have diamonds. You said all of these things about me because I told the truth.
That's
You
real.
disgraced my name, my legacy, my family. You stalked, you hunted me. You harassed my friends.
This time, though, is different since she has been delving deeper in acquiring receipts for the entire infrastructure, not just the faces of the machines. Jaguar exposed the whole network of men and women that had safeguarded Diddy and Jay-Z's empires for decades, including the wealthy business people who founded the Freakoff pipeline before the attempted assassination. Jaguar said that it was a cover for something far more evil. Other men attended Diddy's parties and bid on behalf of the victims, not just for his own nefarious entertainment.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
But Jaguar also targeted middlemen, including federal government-connected business fixers, well-known lawyers, who cleared scenes and created non-disclosure agreements, and fake witnesses who advised victims on how to react. 3 names kept coming up in Jaguar's recordings out of all the persons she had exposed. And no one else was willing to touch or identify the people operating behind the scenes until that attempt had affected billionaire Ron Burkle. Investors with ties to private equity politics and the Epstein list include Perez, a criminally convicted ROC Nation CEO, and Courtney Burgess, an industry fixer whom Jaguar claims was created by Roc Nation to deflect attention. Other than Jaguar, no one is mentioning these people in relation to Diddy's case or Jay's links. Let's examine each of them separately, starting with Ron, the millionaire whose name was in both Diddy's and Epstein's black books. One label under blackmail, investigative piece by Unlimited Hangout that describes Diddy's early interactions with the Epstein network, claims that Ron Burkle is the godfather of all of Diddy's children. He also regularly took flights on Jeffrey Epstein's infamous private jet. The majority of people today are aware of Diddy's connection to Clive Davis and how Clive helped Diddy establish Bad Boy Entertainment. But hardly anyone brings up Ron Burkle, and that's deliberate. According to Jaguar, so you can see, Burkle was not just any investor. He was a long-time and loyal financial supporter of Diddy. Burkle gave Diddy's Sean John Apparel Company $100 million in 2003. The real question is why Ron Burkle would invest $100 million in Diddy's clothing company, which at the time wasn't even turning a profit. At that point, the media was really referring to Burkle as Diddy's sugar daddy. Jaguar claims that this is because Diddy was using the same tactics as Epstein to gain leverage and supply victims for his clients. And Burkle was financing Diddy's extortion scam instead of buying clothes? For people much stronger than himself,
They ended up on Epstein Island. They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online. After they made it through that, that's when they were sent to Rick Ross's music videos as groupies and extras to make sure that they could walk around in society without looking like.
Burkle's name has been linked to numerous scandals throughout the years. For instance, his son Andrew Burkle was found deceased in his. The problem is that the family in the Beverly Hills house won't talk about what happened. Diddy's sons were close to Andrew. In fact, Quincy Brown honored Andrew on Instagram, saying that he was meant to have lunch with him the following day. But until Jaguar brought it up, no one was talking about it. Ron Burkle's group then began a digital purge, removing all traces of his online links to Epstein and Diddy, removing mentions in publications and on social media. Regarding Ron's current whereabouts, he keeps a low profile, yet public documents still show that any mention of Yukipa's co-founder in Epstein's black book or Diddy's freakout activities is being eliminated, despite the fact that he co-owns the Pittsburgh Penguins and can be found on websites such as Yahoo and Accidental. Someone tried to blow up Jag's car a few weeks after he and a few other independent journalists talked about it. But there's always another name that should cause trouble. Even though Desiree Perez, Jay-Z, is the gatekeeper of the company and his right hand at ROC Nation, the mainstream media never talks about it. Dayhaven, a longtime friend of Jay-Z, asserts that Jay-Z knew Desiree was a government spy when he nominated her president of ROC Nation. Jay-Z's craving is the main reason why never runs into any legal problems.
I can guarantee you the conversation with Emery, even when Emery came home and seen, you know what I'm saying? Then it just don't add up at some point. And then how's everybody going to jail but you?
Jay-Z will never fall after Diddy, DeHaven said, because he and the people who pulled Diddy down are all part of the same organization.
Jaguar kind of alluded to Jay-Z may be next. What is your thoughts when you hear the world, like, they done took down Puff, they done took down all these other powerful black people. Jay-Z's like the lone standing powerful black man.
If you do the track wrestling on them, Jay is them people. If you do the history of most of the people that got in trouble in the industry, big trouble, who they went to for help? That's true. When Lil Wayne was in trouble, who did he go to? When Meek Mills was in trouble, who he go to? Meek Mills said it himself. Desiree helped me. You understand? So how could he be up next? You know what I'm saying? He is them people. They go to him when they got problems. Like I said, I think he is them. He has a relationship with them. You talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20-something years, right? When you working for them, you got an agent, your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents that became retired and connected and this and that and the third till they just know shit? She got power. That's power over there. You know what I'm saying? Who you wanting one on your side? You got them on your side?
Jaguar went one step further than Heaven did. Rather than just bringing up Desiree, she found the daughter Desiree left behind and interviewed her in real time.
So I was born in New York as a little baby, 9 months. My grandfather had to take over to raise me because my mother was incarcerated and dealing with the criminal justice system for the crimes that she committed in the early 90s.
How long has the relationship with your mom been strained at this point?
I haven't seen my mom since December 25th, 2023. That's the last time that I saw her physically. The last time I spoke to her was December 30th, 2023, when she said that I was dead to her.
And just a few days before someone tried to permanently silence Jaguar, she included one of the most significant female hip-hop influencers on her live stream. The link between blasting through her own family and someone trying to assassinate Jaguar a few days later is obvious enough that you don't need a conspiracy board. So think about why does Jaguar continue to name the right people? Also discovered the industry fixer, Courtney Burgess. Courtney claims to have a copy of Kim Porter's real biography, but Jaguar exposes him for having personal information. Courtney was compensated by Roc Nation to act as a fake witness in Diddy's case. Courtney admitted that he is the godson of Frank Lucas, the Harlem kingpin who was employed by Diddy's late father, Melvin Combs. In an interview with TMZ, Jaguar disclosed this, although he maintained that he was not intimately acquainted with Diddy.
How do you know Sean Combs?
Generation. Frank Lucas was my godfather and his father, and then we both was in the music business for 30 years together.
So you personally know him?
Not who personally?
Sean Combs.
Not personally.
But you know of him, he knows of you.
Yeah, I used to be with Tupac, Hussein Fatal. He stopped a lot of my music. A lot of other people who didn't care about him. You understand? It's not around today.
Things start to become weird at this point. Following her criticism of Jaguar, Courtney agreed to join him on a live feed. Lying, but Courtney then made strange gestures with Jay-Z's ROC Nation hand symbols several times throughout this interview.
Just slow down. Stop running your mouth so much.
I don't need to do anything but what I'm doing. And now we've finally gotten to this point where you're warning me. Who are you warning me for, sir? You got a boss. Tell him I still got nuts right here. Your warnings, all of your warnings, let it go. Stop talking about people. Go back and tell your boss that I
completely referring to someone else. That was
do what you do. Jag. Do what you do.
Oh, I will. To the fullest.
Do what you do.
To the fullest. This changes nothing. Go back and tell your boss.
If Courtney's got a puppeteer and all that,
I'm telling you, there's no way in the world he got the first hand anything. It was passed down, compiled by someone else. And like he's saying, he doesn't ever.
I'm not being funny, and I will just be honest. I did notice that myself. Of all the ways you could have positioned your hands, Courtney, that was the only way that you could have positioned them in a way that would have caused anything. And I'm going to be honest with you. I noticed that too.
Furthermore, it seemed dubious that Courtney Burgess was going above and beyond to shield Jay-Z and Beyonce, as this TikTok user pointed out, claiming that Diddy's transgressions were unrelated to the Carter.
Jaguar Wright held nothing back, and she was calling out Courtney Burgess on doing this. She said, "You are nobody," and she even believed that Courtney Burgess was planted with this information on purpose to basically get the feds to turn their eye off of other people that are allegedly going to go down with Diddy. And the person that she called out was Jay-Z and the Carters. And then Courtney Burgess started acting really strange, and multiple different times threw up these triangles triangles while she was saying stuff like this. He did it about 5 different times throughout this live, to the point where somebody actually noticed, why does Courtney keep throwing up this triangle? And everyone thought this was super weird that Courtney Burgess kept throwing up this triangle sign at Jaguar Wright after she kept saying that you were planted with this information and it probably came from Jay-Z. We all know that Jay-Z has been known over the years to throw up the same triangle hand symbols. Jaguar Wright believes that Jay-Z is the one behind this because Courtney Burgess said that Jay-Z would never be involved in any of this, and he never saw him on any videotapes, and he would never do anything with Beyonce with another person.
After tying up all these loose ends, let's discuss Ron Burkle, Desiree Perez, and Courtney Burgess, a Jaguar. She nearly took her own life a few weeks later. Diddy is no longer the only focus of this mechanism, controlled by industry fixers who don't make the press, protected by fake witnesses, and financed by billionaires. So the next time someone is found unconscious in a hotel room, we haven't even touched on the subject. So you might want to find out who Jaguar was talking about, if any of this is true.